You're listening to In the Balance, an Iowa Judicial Branch podcast. Welcome back to another episode. In recognition of Black History Month, this episode will be covering the first case heard by our state Supreme Court, back when Iowa was still a territory. Iowa has a long-standing history of upholding civil rights, often preceding federal civil rights laws by decades. Iowa's first case, in the matter of Ralph, was also its first civil rights case. The story of Ralph and his Supreme Court case begins in 1834 in Missouri. A Missouri slave owner by the name of Jordan Montgomery drew up a written agreement with his slave, Ralph. The agreement stated that Ralph would be allowed to reside in the free state of Iowa for 5 years, in hopes of earning enough money to buy his freedom at the cost of $550 plus interest. In today's money, Ralph was expected to earn the equivalent of $17,980 before interest. Ralph was successful in finding a job as a lead miner in Dubuque, but was unable to earn the necessary funds to buy his freedom over the next 5 years. When Ralph failed to pay Montgomery, he sent bounty hunters to abduct Ralph and return him to Missouri as Montgomery's property. Ralph was then brought before a district court by a writ of habeas corpus, a practice in law that requires a public official, such as a warden, to bring an imprisoned person in front of the court and provide a valid reason for the person's detention. The proceedings were transferred to the Iowa Supreme Court after they agreed to hear the case. The Supreme Court of Iowa at the time was comprised of 3 justices, Chief Justice Charles Mason and Associate Justices Joseph Williams and Thomas S. Wilson. The court entered their ruling on July 4th, 1839. While the court did find that Ralph must pay his debt, they held that, quote, no man in this territory can be reduced to slavery, unquote. They dismissed the argument that Ralph could be classified as a fugitive slave, as Montgomery allowed him to leave the state of Missouri to reside in a free one, and therefore could no longer exercise any power over him in the Iowa Territory. The Iowa Supreme Court ruled that Ralph, quote, should be discharged from all custody and constraint, and be permitted to go free while he remains under the protection of our laws, unquote. Ralph was a free man. This case came 18 years before the infamous United States Supreme Court ruling in Dred Scott in 1857. The United States Supreme Court ruled to maintain the rights of the slaveholder and ordered that slaves be returned to their owner regardless of their residency in a free state. In this instance, Iowa's ruling provided more protections for its citizens. The federal issue of slavery would not be settled until the end of the Civil War. In the matter of Ralph is the first of Iowa's many civil rights cases decided to protect the citizens of Iowa regardless of their race or ethnicity. If you are in the Des Moines area, stop by the Judicial Building, located south of the state capitol, and visit the beautiful Shattering Silence sculpture on our west lawn. It is a monument to Ralph's case, with the decision inscribed in the bench surrounding the sculpture. If you would like to learn more about Iowa's civil rights past, visit our website at www.iowacourts.gov. Thanks for listening. You've been listening to In the Balance, an Iowa Judicial Branch podcast hosted and produced by me, Marissa Gaal. If you would like more information about Iowa's courts, you can visit www.iowacourts.gov. You can also follow the Iowa Judicial Branch on Twitter and YouTube at Iowa Courts. This episode of In the Balance is now adjourned. Until next time.